what's my function? All right, true or false? Republican presidential candidate Jon Huntsman is polling so low right now that he is at risk of getting cut from the future debates. He could be locked out. Is that true or is that false? False. At least for now, it's false. The next debate's going to be on October 11th. That's the Washington Post-Bloomberg debate at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. Now, weirdly, the Washington Post and Bloomberg are not saying what the criteria are for being included in their debate, so I can't speak to that. But the next debate after that is on CNN, October 18th, and CNN has made their criteria known publicly and well in advance. And according to their criteria for who can be in their debate, Jon Huntsman, for most of this month, was actually in danger of getting cut. Their criteria, quote, a person must receive an average of at least 2% in at least 3 national polls released between September 1st and October 16th. Dave Weigel of Slate.com has dubbed this the Gary Johnson rule after the former New Mexico governor who's only been allowed on stage for one of the debates so far. Keeping in mind the exacting standards of that rule, here's how Jon Huntsman did in the first 6 national polls conducted in that time frame starting September 1st. The most recent CNN opinion research poll, Huntsman got 1%. USA Today Gallup, 1%. McClatchy Marist, 1%. CBS New York Times, 1%. Bloomberg, 1%. Trouble for Jon Huntsman here, right? 1% is not enough. You need to get an average of at least 2% in at least 3 polls. But he has been saved by the bell. In the previous CNN poll conducted earlier in September, Mr. Huntsman did get the required 2%. And in the new Fox News poll released just last night, he spiked and saved his average. He was up to 4% in the Fox poll, which means it is possible to come up with an average of 3 polls that put Huntsman above the 2% cutoff, right? 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. Divide that by 3. That is more than 2. And that is not exactly crack open the champagne news for the Jon Huntsman for President campaign, but it's not turn out the lights news for that campaign either. Next up, in the 2008 presidential election, the first nominating contest was held in Iowa on January 3rd, right after the new year, which means we spent a full 11 months voting in order to pick a new president in 2008. And as weird as that was, that is the new normal. So true or false, the astonishingly early start to the primary calendar in 2008 is about to happen again for 2012. Is that true or is that false? True. Looks like it. At least Florida poised to move its presidential primary to the last day of January. The Speaker of the Florida State House telling NBC News he expects the 31st to be the date when Florida formalizes it tomorrow. If that happens, it means South Carolina will move its primary date up, which means Nevada will move up its caucus date, which means New Hampshire will move up its primary date, which means Iowa will be holding the Iowa caucuses just after the new year again. And there would be 5 nominating contests just in the month of January, which would be just like 2008, but way more boring. Do it later, you guys. Come on. That does it for us tonight. Now it's time for The Ed Show. Have a good one.